Syncing the video.
Camera is rolling. So I'll give us a quick welcome unless you want to do it.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome to episode 2 of Short Rest Studios. I'm Jud.
And I'm Scott.
And we're here today to talk about Loot Studios. All right, so Loot Studios. It's been around for a while. It's an online service where you can subscribe and you get a boatload of STL files, minis that you can print, minis, terrain pieces, all kinds of stuff. And Scott and I have taken a look into it. You can see before us some of the minis that we've printed. Scott printed some and I printed some. We just wanted to check them out. I mean, their designs look cool. We thought it looked like, they'd be fun. So we decided to check them out and we're going to share the experience with you guys. So Scott, what was it like? Was there anything unique about subscribing?
No, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, really the only thing was deciding if you wanted to do the fantasy and the sci-fi. They kind of have both flavors, but in this case, we only went with the fantasy one. So yeah, that's what you see before us. But no, it was pretty straightforward, and getting access to the files once you're subscribed, you just kind of go in your account area and it's all there to download. And there's a lot to download. For sure.
Because there's a welcome pack, right? Which was like tavern pieces, like terrain pieces for a tavern, like shelves and dish. I mean, everything from like plates and bottles, and some tiny treasure chests that I printed a couple of here. And there were like tavern patrons. There's a bard, all kinds of stuff in there. And then there's the Mad Mage package, which I guess is an earlier.
Yeah, that was something that I purchased in addition to the subscription. There was a lot of pieces in there that I liked. I haven't even touched it because the month that we're on the subscription we got was the Astral Looters.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Which is really it's Spelljammer. So if you're a D&D player, but I was interested in it because of Astral Looters, because I'm a big fan of the Spelljammer campaign setting. I just think it's a cool idea. But yeah, so it's kind of funny. One of the things that in researching Loot Studios, I discovered that a lot of times they do stuff that's kind of like spoofs other IP. Like they have one. You look him up. His name is like Enrique the Plum Druid. He's basically Mario.
Right.
Well, I didn't notice anything like that in this package, but the sci-fi one is totally based on Men in Black.
Right.
It is pretty funny, actually. Billy the Man Suit. Go look that up if it's still out there where you can see it.
Right.
Because I think they've got a new sci-fi package out now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process of printing these, because the designs are really intricate. We'll show you some views of some of these designs in a second, but they are seriously detailed.
Yeah.
So what was Scott and I have two different printers. Like Scott has a little higher end one than I do. I have a really entry level one. My printer didn't have any trouble printing them at all. I mean, I think they came out great.
Yeah.
What was your experience like?
Yeah, it was the same. I only did 32. I haven't done anything 75. It's on my to-do list. But
yeah, me neither, because I can't. Unless I only want to do like one at a time.
But going into either of the popular slicers, was able to load them, no problems. Use their unique tool sets to get supports, not supports, set up your own auto range, all of that, and then slice them, put them on the USB. At least in my printer, I was able to put them on a USB drive, load them in, and it was pretty painless. Even the supports, there's some files that come with supports. They were pretty well done. There's a lot of them. So what we're finding is going in and kind of adding our own supports and doing it that way is just a little better.
If you're confident in doing that. I went and did that. I'm not super confident. We're both fairly new to 3D printing, and so I wasn't super confident in my supports, but I had already printed some, and so I decided to go try one with my own supports, and they came out okay. They came out all right. I had a little trouble cutting some of them out, but so if I had a complaint, it really was just the number of supports on some of those things. I mean, you can see this guy right here, this ship is called the Elder or something. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's the pirate ship. So there's good guys and there's pirates. And the pirate ship here, the thing had. I texted Scott and said, this thing has like 800,000 supports. And he texted me back, 800,000. I'm like, no, I'm exaggerating. But then after I got into it and started cutting them off,
it was 400,000.
I was like, I wasn't sure I was exaggerating. So being fairly new to this, like I'm really nervous about like just ripping supports off of something. Yeah. Now I will say this, the supports that they put on these are tiny. There's a million of them and they're tiny. You can just about tear the supports off of any of these models.
And in mine, when I did my 32, I literally did that.
Yeah, well, and
I ripped mine off.
That's what I wound up doing. I started with the ship. I started trying to cut them, and then eventually I was like, it was like a half hour in, and I'm like, forget this, and I just started ripping them off. There are some places where I paid attention to it more and cut them because they were attached to really small parts of the.
I did the Gorgon, and she has a staff, and I used ABS resin, and that staff was pretty flimsy, so on the staff I was real careful.
Well, and so now that you say that, let's talk about what we've got here in front of us. So Scott printed the Gorgon, which is basically Medusa. Because there's another monster in D&D called a Gorgon, and it's like almost like a Minotaur or something. Yeah, but the Gorgon is a Medusa basically, and she looked really cool. And then you printed that crab guy. What was he called?
Oh, I don't remember his name.
Find him real quick.
Yeah.
There's the Gorgon mage. You printed that one. Yeah. So anyway,
he was like Crab Elastic or something.
Yeah, he was like this giant guy. He's really cool looking. But so we've got the pirate ship here, the Elder Raider. Yeah, there you go, the Elder Raider. So this is the Elder Raider, and you can see it's got like Zoe says it looks like a shrimp with a lot of tentacles.
Yeah.
But Zoe's my daughter. But it's really cool looking, and I mean, frankly, I like the Dragon's Prize better design wise. It's a little simpler and that kind of thing. But I thought people were probably going to really dig this thing because it's so crazy looking. So I decided to print it.
This had a 75 too, right?
Yes. So everything Loot Studios sends you, they send you a 32 millimeter and a 75 millimeter model, and then the ships, and there's also a tiny planet and another monster that basically are you have to print like several different parts, and then you can put them together like they're models. And I really desperately wanted to print one of these big ships, but there are 18 pieces to the Dragon's Prize, and each one would have taken me about 8 hours to print. Wow. So like at some point I might want to do it, but if it just feels like it's going to take up half my life to print that model.
The other cool thing about this though is that they give you stats on it. So like this actually has stats to it.
So you may see me looking over here trying to find the names of things, but they give you basically a magazine. It's a PDF, and it's really nicely designed. It's full color. And it's got stat blocks for all the monsters and the characters. It's got lore associated with the story that they're trying to tell. I mean, it's really pretty cool. Like it's not just minis. It's like everything you need to be able to play a game with these guys. Yeah. But so let's look at these models that we have here. So Scott printed the Gorgon Mage and whatever that crab guy was. I printed here the Elder Raider, which had about I'm gonna change my estimate now and say about 850,000 supports on it. And if you look real closely at that model, you'll see that I didn't get them all off. And then the next one here is his name is just totally forgotten his name now. He's one of the good guys.
Flump.
No, no, that's a different one. That's the monster. That's actually a regular D&D monster. So this guy's an elf warrior. Here he is, Gorgon Galanadel. Okay, sure.
That's him.
And you can see, so initially Scott talked about using ABS-like resin, and initially I printed everything with what I had, which is standard grade resin, which can be brittle. And so you can see as I was carrying Gorgon outside to prime him, I snapped one of his swords off. So because it's brittle. This Gorgon is I printed him again, and he's ABS like, and you can see his sword has a pretty good bit of give to it. But I did actually cut part of his sword off trying to.
We just got to combine the two.
Yes. It'd be a two-headed Gorgon. And this I haven't glued him to
And
base yet or
he's
anything.
baseless. So
Yeah.
He doesn't matter.
Just like you, Scott.
That's right.
So, and this
I'm
is
just
the
camera guy.
this is this is the Cthulhu folk pirate.
Cholulu.
Yeah, Cholulu. So as we all know, I'll give you a little D&D history. There was some they originally wanted Cthulhu to be a monster in D&D. I guess maybe it was at some point. But H.P. Lovecraft's estate apparently didn't like that, so that's why you have the Mind Flayer now,
That's
which
right.
is basically Cthulhu.
Yeah.
But he's a Cthulhu folk privateer, and so he's got his little rope and like a piece of whatever that is, rail on a pier or something that he's standing on with his sword over his shoulder.
It's actually pretty cool.
Like,
looking
he's a
one.
neat looking dude. And
Yeah.
so let me tell you too what I did with these. You'll notice Gorgon there is not primed or anything. The rest, and a couple of these guys in the end here aren't, but the rest of these I primed them and did a really crappy blackwash job just so you could see the details in those models a little better.
Yeah, this one was a free one actually. If you go to their sites,
Yeah.
you can download that STL, and that one's super detailed.
Yes, I mean he's the adventurer, and there's a couple of different versions of those guys. But yeah, he's got like this giant backpack with like barrels and a bird and all
It'll be
this
fun
stuff
to
on it.
paint for sure.
Yeah, I think it might be more fun if I did the 75 millimeter one. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one a shot. So this is the Flump, which if you've read through the monster manual, you might be familiar with. But he looks a little different. But I
I'm
thought
not allowed to read the monster manual.
can
'cause
read the
that's-
monster-
It's metagaming.
you can
so,
read
yeah.
it, just not what we're playing. So the Flump, I thought he was neat looking, so I printed that guy out. Now I haven't glued him to his base yet. As you can see, I just knocked him over.
Took fall
Because
damage.
I don't know
Roll a
if he's got
D6.
about he's just bludgeoning damage 1d6. So he's got about 10,000 tentacle. Okay, I'm exaggerating again. He's got a bunch of tentacles, and I was just a little concerned if I glued him to the base that I wouldn't be able to paint on that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but he is a bit unique in that you can actually stand him on his base and he'll stand up without gluing him down. Actually, yeah. And so, so another thing that's nice is they have, except in the case of Gorgon there, all of these have imprints for the feet.
Yeah, they do.
In the base,
Yeah, it's
so that
easy
you
to
can,
place them.
so it's easy to place them. Gorgon didn't, but there are some little nubs that kind of give you a place to.
You mean like the old Star Wars characters that had holes in their feet?
Yes, kind of. No, they're like you. If you can see, I mean, I could show them to Scott. I don't know if I can, but there's little.
You
little-
can't see it, just me.
Yeah, there's little bumps on there, but I'll zoom in. I'll get a shot zoomed in. But there are actually some little bumps there that kind of give you a little bit of direction on where to put his feet. So yes, the Adventurer was a free one. Initially, I downloaded him just to check him out, but he's neat. He's got the scroll open in his hand. He's got a bird riding on top of his barrel, which is on top of his backpack, which is on top of his bedroll. He's got like a shield hanging on the side here, and a horn, and a sword, and the bird cage on top. His base has some flowers and things on it. I mean, this thing is crazy detailed.
Yeah, they do a good job.
Yeah, their designs are phenomenal. And then these guys, so this is part of the welcome pack, with all the tavern pieces in it. And so I printed out a couple of these treasure chests. I haven't primed these or anything, but they look pretty neat, and I still need to shave off some supports there. But they look like there's a lot of stuff in there. Like if you want to go into detail and like print out a bunch of plates, you can do that.
Right, you want to get real
Like,
serious.
if you want this guy, and there's actually a table. There's a table in there. You can either print it empty or it has a feast,
That's
like
right,
a roast
yeah.
boar
Right.
on it. And you can print the roast boar separately. If you want to go into all that, you can do that.
Spend an entire gaming session just eating.
Yes, but there are about 800,000 minis that they give you too. So
That's right.
there's a
All
lot
with 800,000 support.
yes,
so.
yes, exactly. So
So that would be a good time to mention our sponsor, this resin.
yes, our sponsor. If anybody's out there looking to sponsor a YouTube channel,
That's right.
give me a call. shortreststudios@gmail.com. You can email me. No. So I enjoy these designs quite a bit. And like in the end, like the designs are a lot of fun. I feel like the getting to the place where you can enjoy the designs takes quite a bit of work.
Yeah, there's a little bit of upfront work, that's for sure. And then, I enjoy the painting aspect of it. We have a regular gaming group that we play D&D with, but where we currently are, none of these minis would kind of probably potentially fall into
Although,
place with it, but you never know.
We might work something out.
Yeah. But I mean, just the excitement of when you look at the details on it and knowing the things that you can do. We're still learning how to paint too, so
yeah.
How do I do a rope to make it look, real good, or certain ways to do armor or weapons.
Don't paint it like this.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Don't put the black wash on.
Yeah. No, but I think it will be a lot of fun to paint them, and it would be cool to pull one of these out in a game, sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, you can listen. We can have a flump sometime.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I don't know what the party would do,
but yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I have regrets that I couldn't print the big ship. But in the end, I had a lot of fun with it, with these designs, and I'm actually looking forward. I'm hoping maybe in some future episodes, maybe even as just a little add-on, I can just bring a couple in as I get them painted.
Yeah, that'd be fun to show kind of progress on it for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Well, hey, you've wasted another good chunk of time here with us today, so we really appreciate that, and hope that you don't really feel like it was a waste, because we don't. We had fun talking about this stuff, and we hope you're watching too. Yeah, absolutely. But hey, I just want to encourage you, subscribe, like this video if you like this kind of content. If you want more of this, just subscribe and let us know in the comments what kind of stuff you want to hear about. What kind of stuff you want to talk about? What's fun for you in the realm of tabletop gaming and 3D printing and crafting and all those things. Just like and subscribe. Don't forget. And you can also check out our website, shortrest.wordpress.com, and we have a shop page there where you can go buy some crafting equipment and stuff like that, and we get a little kickback from Jeff Bezos on that because we are Amazon associates.
That's right.
But the main thing is, we just want you to come back and watch our next episode when we talk about something else fun. And I think next time, Scott, we're going to do a little bit of crafting. We're going to make some dungeon doors. That's the plan for the next episode.
It should be fun.
So like, subscribe, and join us next week on Short Rest Studios.
Remember, it's not a long rest. It's a short rest.